Check. Alright, so the sound is good. Alright, so this was a trade idea for gold, and this was based on the 15-minute time frame. So I took the entry as this bearish candle close below our 15-minute support right here. Took the entry, went down to about 10 pips. Had a little pullback, and then it pushed all the way down for 30 plus pips. Alright, and again, for person who don't know, I use price action and I focus on clean structure in the Forex market. Alright, so that's what I focus on when I am trading the currency market. So as you can see right here, we created a low on gold. This was a little channel we were trading in. We were pushing bearish basically. We create a low here. What happened is that price actually breaks the structure. Alright, and we create a high. So basically we created a resistance on this low, respect here, and also this significant low up here. So what I was looking at on the chart at the time was that, hey, we create resistance right here on the 15-minute time frame. And for gold, I play gold on the 15-minute and the 5-minute time frame because it is very volatile and you can get 10, 15, 20 pips within seconds. So I was looking at it, and we created a support here on the 15-minute time frame, and then I got this candle to break and close below support. Now if you look here to the left, we have clean candles that we can actually mirror all the way back down to about here. Alright, so we have clean candle that we can actually mirror all the way back to about here. So this was based on the idea. I took a bit of drawdown, but I was also looking at price on the 1-hour time frame as well. I was monitoring the 1-hour candle because the 1-hour candle form resistance. I was just looking at this pullback as a top wick for further continuation. As long as this 1-hour candle right here did not break the high of the previous, then I was pretty okay. But if it break it, then would have gotten stopped out. So I was looking for further downside based on that. Alright, so far for the premium group, send 7 signals alongside different trade idea, which played out very well. Played out pretty well. We only had like a 10 pip loss this morning, and I'm just calling it a week. So for the week, we had one trade that we got stopped out at break even. We won 5 and we lost 10 pips on 1. So yes, so that's that. But gold, and it seems as if price just came down. Looking at it on the 15-minute time frame, we just came down and tapped this 15-minute resistance here, and we are now rejecting the area. So the thing with gold, whenever you get like 10, 15, 20 pips, always secure some profit, move your stop loss to entry, and just leave the rest around. You don't want to be holding gold for any big drawdown or anything like that. You don't want to hold gold for any big drawdown. So you have like a 10, 15, 20 pips stop loss max whenever you're trading gold, and at that point you would just be working with the volume. Alright, so for GBP JPY currently I'm looking for price to break and close below this area on the 30-minute time frame. Alright, so if I can get the current 30-minute candle to close below here, then I'm gonna look to add a small position. But I think we need a 30-minute candle to close below support, and we also need the new 30-minute candle to create a top wick, and as it breaks the low of the current candle right here, then I'll be looking to add a entry. Because the reason being, we have been in consolidation here, this entire area. is our area of consolidation, you know, and we are now breaking out of this range to the downside. So you have to ask yourself, why are we leaving this range? You know, and if you look here, we have clean candle that we can actually mirror all the way back down to, you know, I would say about here, you know, and this is more than big enough. But if price don't gives me what I am looking for, then I can't take a trade. I won't take a trade, and I'm not going to force any trade based on that. Alright, so this is what I am looking at for GBP JPY. So bear in mind again, we need a candle to break structure. Let me change the color. So take for example, if this current candle can close like this, all I would want for is a new candle to create a top wick like this, and as it push down and break the low right here, I take a sell, and I am really anticipating, you know, the London volume to continue to drive price down. But separate and apart from that, we have a lot of news coming up as well. You know, we have a lot of news coming up as well, so you have to bear that in mind. So today is Friday, you know, so we have GBP, you know, at 2 that gone already, and we have quite a few euro news, and we have GB. So as it relates to the Great British Pound, I think we are pretty safe, but for the euro, we have some high impact news coming up, you know, so just keep that in mind. You know, so just keep that in mind for that. You know, I was in a sell on this at 74, you know, 374, but I just closed the position because you know why? It was Friday, and the overall trend for Euro USD is bullish, you know, but I was looking at the fact that we pretty much created a resistance on the H. Well, I took it before the resistance on the H4, but you know, I was watching this wick. Take for example, if the candle starts to break above here, then I would have just closed the position basically, you know, but I was just looking at the wick, and also, you know, the weekly time frame as well. I was looking at this rejection right here, so I took it on that, and it went up to about 10 pips in profit, but I was actually looking for a swing trade, you know, and I just closed it out because I took some good wins this week, you know, bear in mind, you know, but you know, I think the best trade was NZD USD. The best trade for us this week was NZD USD. Took sells here, and the market dropped over 100 pips. I call a Euro USD buy. I think it was last night. I call the buys here as this candle, you know, break and close above the level. I call the buys, you know, but I got my entry at 818, and what happened to me this morning, you know, it went up to 25 pips, about 25 pips in profit, you know, and then this candle right here pretty much just came back and stopped me out this morning at entry, and then the market shoot all the way up, and it might take profit at about 45 pips. So my overall take profit, I think it was here, 45 to 47 pips, and the market just bam, pull back, stop me out, shoot all the way up. But this is a part of the forex market, trading the forex market. You know, sometimes these things will actually happen to you, but it doesn't mean that your entry is wrong or anything like that. You know, I took a good buy with stop loss below this area. You know, the market went up well. I didn't see the need for price to actually pull back to this level right here. I didn't see the need for price to actually pull back to here. But, you know, it is what it is. Things like these do happen in the forex market, you know, so you just have to keep it together. So whenever this happens to you, don't jump back in the market and try to, you know, because even though I was looking at it from a break and retest standpoint, I still did not jump back in to take a buy. Alright, because what I was looking at, seeing that, you know, we break structure, we break this area, we push up, create a new high, you know, pull back from a minor support, you know, but the idea was for price to continue up to retest the high based on that, and you know, break it and with continuation just the same. All right, but it is what it is. So you know, you just have to take it easy, one day at a time, one step at a time. Another signal call in the premium group was here. Call buys here. You know, and the market went up for about 40 something pip, but I secure position at about 47 pips. You know, we had gold buy this week as well. You know, so it was pretty okay. The week was pretty okay. You know, and as I can see currently, guys, so if we can close below this level, I think most definitely, because if you look at the time, I hope we don't get the move before. Trust me. I hope that the new candle will pull back to retest the area, and I can get a potential entry for continuation. But I hope we don't get that push before this candle is closed. I might just get it, you know. We might just get it. You know, so I think the potential is there. Once we close below and the new candle can give us a top wick and then, you know, break the low, then I think we can get some form of continuation to push towards the downside. You know, so that's what I would be looking for. And possible it would be my only trade for the day. This would be my only trade for the day. %, risk. Alright, so seeing that to close. I think I think for the new candle, if we can break the low, we might continue to push bearish in all honesty. But we would need a break of the low. Alright, we would need a break of the low right here for us to continue to push bearish. And you can use like a 10 pip stop. Can use like a 10 pip stop. So if it starts to break the low, I think I might go with it. You know, in all honesty, because at this point, it's a London open 8 a.m. and there is volume in the market at this time. So, I mean, if it starts to break the low, we should be able to get 10 pip. Because you always have to ask yourself, why price leaving our area of consolidation? You know, we have been in this era for Asian pretty much. So, if it starts to break the low, I might just go with it. Alright, so I'll put in a entry, guys, and just let's see if it will continue. You know, from a risk management perspective, take for example, if the market starts to pull back at about, you know, -6 pips, about here, I'm gonna close 50% of my position. Because I'm really anticipating the market to continue to drive price bearish. So I took a sell. So if it starts to pull back about, you know, probably about here, I'm gonna close 50% of my position. You know, and I will be securing position at about 10 pips. You know, if it push about 5 pips in profit and pulls back to my entry, I'm gonna close 50% of my position as well. You know, say if the market push down to about here, I'm gonna manage risk if it actually pulls back to my entry. So if it starts to break, you know, 276, I'm gonna close 50% of my position. Start to break 276, I'm gonna close 50% because I really don't want price to pull back into the range. you know, and this probably just be my only trade for the day, win, lose or draw, because in profit for the week I'm not gonna go back in drawdown, you know, so just keep it at that. But if we should continue to push bearish, but if not, then it is what it is. You just have to manage risk. That's the most important thing. Once you can manage risk and keep your losses small, it should be okay. And if this candle break it slow for a second time, it will increase the probability of us going bearish. So just bear that in mind. You know, so yeah. So let's see if we can get about 10 pips. We can secure some position at about 10 pips. And if not, just manage risk and call it a day. But this is how I trade the FX market. These are things that I actually look for in the market. You know, and if I get price to farms the way I want it to, you know, we just manage risk as we go along. Alright, so we need that push for price to continue bearish. But everything is looking good. Everything is looking good. And don't worry about the lines, you know. I know what I am actually looking for. So let's remove some of these lines to make it a bit better. But you know, I know what I am looking for. So 10 pips, where did I took the entry? 207. You know, so 107 should secure 10 pips at 107 and just leave the rest to run. If we continue to push bearish, then we can make some more pips. But if not, then you know, it is what it is. And seeing that it went up to 4.9 pip, if this actually pulls back to my entry, I'm gonna close 50%. Alright, so if it pulls back to my entry, I'm gonna close 50% because the first target is 10 pip and I don't want the market to go, you know, 50% of my first destination and then pull me back in drawdown. So this is how I manage risk in the Forex market, you know, when I'm looking for small scalp like these. So if it actually, you know, pulls back to my entry, I'm gonna knock off 50% and just leave the rest to run. So if we continue, we'll continue. If not, then it is what it is. Alright, so I'll close 50% of my position. Close 50% at entry. So just gonna leave the rest to run. So if we continue to push, you know, we can make some pips, but if not, we manage risk, we would have lose or lost less than what we intended to, and just call it a day. You know, and the thing is about managing risk. You see, whenever you manage risk, you don't need to close your entire position, because you are accepting the fact that I am okay risking what I am risking. So if I get stopped out, you know, it is okay. You give your trade a chance, you manage risk. So that's so you don't need to get emotional about the loss, because at the end of the day, you're risking what you can afford to lose. That's what you're actually doing in the Forex market. So if you cannot afford to lose $1, that's what you're risking. Alright, if you can't afford to lose $1, don't risk $1. Take it as I tell you. You know, just risk what you can afford to lose. Let's look at Euro USD if we got any push towards the downside. You know, so news will be in another few minutes. So just bear that in mind. Alright, we'll get news in another few minutes. You know, and I was looking for potential buy above this level for GBP AUD. you know, but I missed it. What I should have done was to set up an alert. You know, I should have just set up an alert and just work with that. But, you know, it is what it is sometimes. So as you can see, price actually pushed down to 5 pips, you know. 5 pips right here. Pulls back to my entry close 50%. Alright, so if we should continue to move bearish now, guys, this candle don't need to break its own high. So if we are going bearish, this current candle, right, let's remove these. This candle don't need to pull back to break its own high right here, because I would have already created a top wick and we start to push bearish and break below the lows of these candle right here. You know, so if it starts to pull back to break here, just manage risk again. Close another 50% and just, you know, just leave the rest to run. So if it gets stopped out at that point, then I'm okay with that. But you know, you really want to keep the risk small. Keep your losses as small as possible and just maximize. Because sometimes you enter trade, you're just gonna get a big push right to your destination, just like that. You ain't gonna get any drawdown. So just bear that in mind. You know, gold form a little support. But I think the potential is there for further continuation on gold. Potential is there. You know, so once it don't start to break back or get a 15-minute candle to close above here, I think we should be okay. Because you have to understand that we have a range right here. This was a range by itself, and what happened here is that we break the range and we created a top range. Now we are leaving this top range to pull back into, you know, the lower range right here. So I'm not looking for price to close back above this level. I'm not looking for price to close back above this level, because what the market is telling me now is that we are finished with this level. But you still have to bear in mind that the forex market can do whatever it wants to do. So that's the reason why you manage risk. Yep. I think if the news are bad for Euro USD, I think we might continue to drive down, you know. Now, honesty, if we get bad news, the market might just drop to the ground. You know, so just bear that in mind. And for GJ, as you can see, we are pushing back down. You know, so I think if we break the low here for a second time, there's a high probability we should continue to push bearish. So at, you know, 10 pips, I'm gonna move SL to entry and secure some position. And you know, just call it a day, call it a week. You see, the thing is with the forex market, guys, persons tend to lose all of their profit on a Friday. You know, and you know it all have to do with psychology as well, because you know person know that the market is coming to a close and they are trying to see, hey, how much more money can I make? I want to make some more money. No, if you are in profit for the week and you see Friday starts to approach, what you do, you close your week in profit. Or if you're going to take a trade, you know, just risk a small percentage. That's all you have to do. Just risk a small percentage and just call it a day. You know, so this is the community, and I call these buys and volatility 75. You know, I call these buys, wait for a retest here, and you know, as you can see, it's in bit of a profit, but I think the market is still trying to make up its mind on what it wants to really do. You know, so that's for the volatility 75. You know, this was the Euro NZD sells. You know, these are buys on Euro USD as well. You know, this was the Great British Pound Japanese Yen, buy with close above. You know, buy gold 35 pips, sell 10 pip in profit, 18 pips, 20 pips, and it goes on 30 pips just the same. Sell Euro NZD. You know, so this is the community, guys. This is TME Learn and Earn. And you can see your meeting links. You know, so we meet, we have discussion, etc. You know, but I'm not really advising them to take any trades today because you know some good signal was sent this week, and you know in a bit of profit, so it doesn't make any sense to try and risk it. And I think for GBP USD, sells would be valid below this area. So if we break and close below here, I think sells would be valid. I think GBP gonna close it. So this, guys, this was pretty much a liquidity grab. This was a liquidity grab. Alright, so the good thing with this, risk was managed. Alright, so this was a liquidity grab. This was definitely a liquidity grab. This right here. Alright, so at this point there's a high probability the market will range. There's a high probability the market will range. You know, so I'm not gonna jump back in to look for another trade or anything like that. Still in profit for the week. Risk was managed. Just gonna call it a week. Alright, but this is actually pull back to stop us out. You know, and this is one of the things. So take for example, if I didn't manage risk, then you know I would have gotten stopped out at break even with my max risk. You know, and at all point when I am trading the market, I want to lose less than what I intended to. So always keep that in mind. Whenever you're trading the Forex market, I enter a position, try to lose less than what you intended to. Alright? Try to lose less than what you intended to. And look at that rejection. Look at that level of rejection. You know, so just gonna stay away from this now. Like a 10 pip stop. Pull back aggressively. Yeah. Fake out. This, you know, I think this is the liquidity grab, you know. This candle right here. The break of the low with the first stop wick was a confirmation for the sell. But you know, the market grabbed some liquidity and now we start to reject the area. 3:30. So within another 13 minutes, you know, some news will be released for the euro. So I'm just gonna leave this here to see if the market will actually continue to push bearish. You know, just gonna leave this here. GBPAUD. Thing is with GU, we are at a solid level as well. We are at a solid level. So we could just pull in back to retest this area to continue to push bullish. You know, so just bear that in mind. But let's monitor pound yen to see if it will continue to dance around or push bearish. Entry, pull back negative 12 pips. Then we start. I think that we're gonna continue to push bearish. Should continue to push bearish. Once the low here get broken, we should continue to push bearish. But the thing is, I'm not gonna go back in the market. Just gonna call it a day. Dollar index pretty weak. It's been bearish. EMI. 66. Alright, so volatility 75 is pushing.